Ekam is a movement in consciousness founded by Sri Preethaji and Sri Krishnaji, spread across over 100 nations of the world. This spiritual movement has led millions to a direct experience of their personal divine and the manifestation of breathtaking miracles. Seekers throng to Ekam, the mystic powerhouse at the heart of Ekam movement, to awaken from illusion, ignorance, and suffering.
Now I have a lot of ease and peace toward myself, and I feel that I'm so complete, and I start love myself, and I start connect to the people around me, the nature around me, and I start realizing I'm able to flow with the flow of life.
It felt really liberating, like I finally got through what I was like, what was making me angry or sad at my parents. I finally got through it, and it feels really good.
As an entrepreneur, what I have been looking for, or what I look for all the time, is clarity. And what's amazing about Krishnaji is that when you listen to him and you talk to him, he's got a complete blueprint of what works and what does not work. And that's what I like about his programs, that they come from a place, a knowledge, a wisdom that is does not come from books. It comes from a deep knowing.
Asato ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityor ma amritam gamaya.
Every human being has one primal wish that appears as numerous other desires. You want to be happy. But it is sad that you seek this happiness in the outside without ever ridding your own consciousness of suffering, ignorance, and separation. Most people are like hungry and thirsty children who are lost and abandoned in the middle of a desert. It is this fear and unhappiness within them that makes them hurt each other. But their desert-like life is the result of the kind of consciousness with which they live and will disappear upon awakening. An unenlightened consciousness and unawakened consciousness is at the root of most problems. In an unawakened state, you continually engage in generating negative karmic actions and accumulate negative karmic balance, which result in obstacles such as relationship conflicts, breakdown of mental and physical health, or the perceived and actual economic insufficiency. It is also the collective unawakened consciousness that is at the root of most global problems of war, poverty, division, and environmental destruction. Your awakening is the only solution to stem the further birthing of problems and the dissolution of existing challenges. And the collective awakening of human consciousness is the only enduring panacea for all of world problems. That is why our single most important mission is individual enlightenment and collective awakening of humankind. We belong to Mukti Sampradaya, and it is our mission to awaken 74,000 people into Sampurna Jivan Muktas, or total liberated beings. For when 0.001% of human population is enlightened, the balance tilts in human consciousness towards compassion and oneness. This has been the mission of my parents, Shri Amma and Shri Bhagavan, and 5 generations of sages who have gone before them. And Shri Preethaji and I intend to fulfill this sacred mission of great liberation of humanity in our own lifetimes. Scores of people around you are already stepping into this realm of enlightenment, and we invite you to join this magnificent movement in consciousness.
I experience this flow now, and it's in my body, and it's so incredibly awesome. It's like this beautiful current of universal life force. That's who I really am. I'm so very appreciative of Krishnaji and Preethaji for the beautiful teachings, their processes, and the Limitless Field meditations. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And suffering, I thought it will bring me attention from other people. Yeah, and now I understood that it's not about the attention, it's not about the superiority, it's all about the connection and this state which helps you to connect to the people that I was totally disconnected. I'm really appreciated for this. Thank you so much.
Every night now I am laying in a state of bliss consciousness that pervades my whole physical being. All through the evening I have deep states of silence that abide during the day. It's not like just having this and then it's stopping.
Shatamalam bhavati shatayu purusha shatindriya ayusha vindriya pratitishtati. 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 Shatamalam bhavati पुरुषोषतीन्द्रिय आयुष्यविन्द्रिय प्रतिष्ठति Puruषोषतीन्द्रिय आयुष्यविन्द्रिय प्रतिष्ठति शतमानं भवति शतयु पुरुषोषतीन्द्रिय 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 आयुष्यविन्द्रिय प्रतिष्ठति 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 प्रतिष्ठति
सौभाग्यवान् भव आयुष्यवान् भव आरोग्यवान् भव सौभाग्यवान् भव आयुष्यवान् भव आरोग्यवान् भव सौभाग्यवान् भव यशस्वी भव सौभाग्यवान् भव आयुष्यवान् भव आरोग्यवान् भव सौभाग्यवान् भव आयुष्यवान् भव आरोग्यवान्
Sri Preethaji and Sri Krishnaji are spiritual leaders, mystics, and philosophers of our time. They have co-created Ekam, a mystic powerhouse located in the state of Andhra Pradesh, India. Sri Preethaji and Sri Krishnaji have over 2,000 trained volunteers who lead their events all over the world. Millions of seekers are drawn to them in quest of greater purpose, peace, and awakening. World-renowned leaders come to Ekam to learn from them and to meditate in their presence. At a tender age of 11, Sri Krishnaji had his first experience of enlightenment and God realization. Ever since then, when people meditate with him, they experience a healing of long-held wounds, their anxiety dissolves, and they move into higher states of consciousness. Sri Preethaji's presence spontaneously opens the hearts of seekers to love and compassion beyond measure. To listen and to learn from her is a blessing of several lifetimes. Sri Preethaji and Sri Krishnaji run a huge charitable initiative, Oneness Changemakers, a foundation that offers free transformational education in schools and colleges in India and across the world. They support their daughter Loka in running her massive charity, Loka Foundation, which supports and improves the lives of people in 1,000 villages around Ekam.
The truth is one. The wise perceive it in many ways. Cosmic reality is one. Every perception of reality is wise. All perceptions of the one reality are wise. So why conflict at all?
Ekam sat vibrahai bahuta vadanti. Ekam sat vibrahai bahuta vadanti.
Namaste. Welcome to the Global Limitless Field Meditation. We are connecting with you from Ekam, the World Center for Enlightenment. I'm Purnima, a disciple of Sri Preethaji and Sri Krishnaji, and today I'll be facilitating the Limitless Field experience for you. In a few moments from now, Sri Preethaji will be here to address the issue of conflict resolution, to resolve conflict at every level, and to bring about harmony at every level, be it at the individual level or at the level of your family, organization, and at a global level. Several seekers from around the world have asked questions on the issue of conflict resolution, and we will ask a few to Sri Preethaji to shine the light of wisdom and answer them for us. If we are ready, let us welcome Sri Preethaji joyfully to lead us forward.
Namaste. It is wonderful to connect with all of you for this limitless field. Conflict, whether within the individual, within the family, within the organization, or within humanity. It is painful and it is destructive. Harmony and peace cause well-being. It causes abundance, health, and meaningful growth. Future generations grow up to be compassionate and joyful individuals. That is why today's Limitless Field meditation is on harmony. And it is harmony that is important for every one of you. Let us get into questions, and then I will lead you into the limitless field.
Pranam Sri Preethaji. This is the first question from Anitra Griffin from the United States. She says, Namaste Sri Preethaji. 28 years ago, my mother died of a heart attack caused by a drug overdose. We were very close, but I never knew that she had a drug addiction. Those drugs were prescribed to her by a doctor for legitimate health conditions. 1 week before she died, while away at college, I received a telepathic call from her that she was dying or she's about to die. And immediately I ran to my phone to call her, just to hear her voice and to tell her about how I felt. She convinced me that I was exaggerating, and then I backed down. Not completely convinced that she was well, I came home for a few days to see her for a weekend visit. And before leaving to return to my college, I told my grandmother and brother why I had come home to see my mother. They became very concerned as well. Unfortunately, she died 2 days later of an overdose at an age of 42, and I was 20 years old. I have carried the guilt and regret with me for 28 years that I should have told my grandmother and brother about my fear sooner. But I allowed my mother to convince me that there was no problem. I regret that I was away at college pursuing my dreams when my mother died. How do I release this guilt and regret from within me, Shri Preethaji?
First of all, it is really sad that you lost your mother to a drug overdose. But in my eyes, what is even more sad and what is more painful is that you spent 28 years of your life in guilt. Guilt over the death of a loved one is the most prevalent form of suffering in humanity. Many people continue to live their lives in sadness and guilt and remorse long after the death of their loved ones. Sometimes your guilt is around what you did to the other, or sometimes it is around what you did not do for the other while they were alive. That you could have taken better care of them, given them more happiness, fulfilled their desires, listened to their words, been more present to their lives, not ignored them so much while they were alive, or been so hurtful or so insensitive to their pain. Sometimes your guilt is not based on a real situation. It is a projection of your mind. Your mind is showing you a scenario where you could have avoided the death of your loved ones. It shows you that if you could have acted faster or foreseen the situation or read the signals correctly, you could have saved your loved one. But whatever be the reason, you're only perpetuating your suffering by engaging in a state of guilt. Living in a state of guilt does not make you a good partner to your departed spouse, does not make you a good son or a good daughter to your departed parent. Guilt can only make you into a bitter, negative, and a depressed human being. It eats into your heart, and it would kill all that is beautiful, all that is wonderful about you. You're robbed of all beautiful states of joy, peace, and kindness. And you have nothing beautiful to give to those people who are a part of your life right now. You ignore them. You are insensitive to them. And you are hurting them. In guilt, you lose the ability to feel the happiness. You lose the ability to feel the unhappiness of the other. You do not enjoy life. You do not know what it is to love another or what it is to feel another's love for you. Your continued indulgence in feelings of guilt often causes frustration in the rest of the family. All these suffering states combine to tear families apart. And it is time you set yourself free. I believe that in order to become free of guilt around the death of your loved ones, you need to have a profound spiritual awakening. You need to have an awakening experience into the nature of life, into the nature of death. You need to have a transcendental experience. Let me give you an example. A couple of years ago, a gentleman came to us. He was suffering from an enormous guilt over the suicide of his young son. This man's ambition to build his career. He made series of wrong decisions in his life that hurt his wife and that hurt his children very badly. And finally, one day, his son, who was clinically depressed, told him, "Dad, you may not see me again." This man thought it was one of the usual tantrums that this boy throws to get attention, and he did not care to inquire further. And the next evening, he received a phone call that his son had taken his life. And when this man came to us, it had already been 10 years since that incident has happened. And with every passing year, his guilt kept increasing. He felt guilty that if alone he had been more sensitive to his son's word, or the words that son had spoken, and if alone he had taken those words seriously that night, he probably could have saved him. And that guilt had haunted him every day. He told us that he would complete his responsibility towards his other children. And then he had decided that he would commit suicide himself, not able to bear that misery. He felt his death was the only solution he saw to end his misery and to die and join his son. Sri Krishnaji led him through the wisdom on the nature of death. That death is not the end of existence or life. It is a continuation of life. It is a corridor between one way of being and living to another way of being and living. And life continues after death. In the transcendental process that we led him through, he had an experience, met his son, and spoke to him. This man sought for forgiveness from his son and saw and felt that his son moved into light peacefully. After this transcendental experience, his guilt, his grief dissolved completely. Today he's living his life, cherishing his other children, cherishing his wife, being present to them, giving them all the joy and love he can. Understanding the nature of death opens you up to the vastness of life. Death is a part of life.
Thank you so much, Shri Preethaji. This is the second question. This question is from Samarth from Bangalore, India. Namaste, Shri Preethaji. Thank you for your guidance and blessings. I'm an entrepreneur and I often observe this in many organizations. Recognition at organizations for any employee has become a policy statement, and there is a complete disconnect on both sides. Most of the employees quit organizations for this reason and not for financial or other reasons. With this, people keep changing different organizations looking for proper recognition for their work. Can you please throw light on how can one work without the expectation for recognition? Seems to be impossible with this state of mind, I think.
Many leaders, or most leaders in the business world, create structures that run on enlarging the separate self. This means they lead their organization on the path of growth by pumping their employees with more and more significance and more recognition. Team leaders, managers take their organizations towards growth by pampering the egos of the employees, pitting one team against the other, and actually giving them a false sense of power, I would say. Sadly, this is the only means of growth known to them. And growth that is achieved this way, it is a very toxic growth. Eventually, it would kill the organization. It would destroy the strength and integrity of the organization and would make it cave from within. I can compare this to what human beings are doing to the earth. You poison the earth with chemicals, with fertilizers that promise you rich and fast crops. It may happen a few times, but eventually these chemical fertilizers acidify the earth, kill its nutrients, remove all the organic matter, and remove life from the earth. Heavy metals build up in the soil, slowly enter your fruits and your vegetables, your food grain, and it causes diseases in your body. Pumping one's self is as destructive and it is as toxic as poisoning the earth. But the leaders themselves are living in an unenlightened state. They themselves are craving recognition, significance, comparing and competing with each other. Hence, they can only create such toxic ecosystems. A great leader is someone who's able to create a nurturing ecosystem. To build a nurturing ecosystem, a leader must be in a state of great connection, must be in a state of oneness with all the members of the organization. And only from such an enlightened state can he or she create an enlightened structure that creates enduring and fulfilling growth. Such a leader creates structures where there is no competition, but cooperation. Where recognition and significance are not dished out to people to boost their ego, nor is a recognition given as to boost profits. to boost their separate sense of self or ego when they yield profits, and puncture their self when they fail to yield profits. I would say it's a very inhuman way to lead. In an enlightened structure, there is true appreciation for the contribution that someone has made to the growth of the organization through their skills, through their abilities. Every member feels respected, every member feels valued in the organization. This is a beautiful and nurturing ecosystem that naturally brings out the best in you. Because in such an ecosystem, your words, your actions nurture the whole. Your brain and your nervous system release an abundance of serotonin. That is a neurotransmitter that's responsible for happiness and well-being. And such a human being naturally lives with a greater passion, with joy, creativity, and cooperation. Everything which contributes to the growth of the organization. Now let me lead you into a space of harmony, a space beyond conflict in the limitless field. Hold the sankalpa for immersion into a state of harmony and peace in yourself, in your families, at work, and in the world around you.
Thank you so much, Sri Preethaji. One of the several visions launched by Sri Preethaji for supporting the seekers on the path of enlightenment is the Oneness Yoga Challenge. This year, the Oneness Yoga Challenge is here to wake your body's mystic. Sri Preethaji will be leading you through a 7-day online adventure, Chakra Yoga. Sri Preethaji's creation of Chakra Yoga is inspired by ancient Himalayan yogis pursuing enlightenment and the mystic experiences that Sri Preethaji has delved into. Let us watch a presentation on the Oneness Yoga Challenge 2022.
Namaste. Welcome to Oneness Yoga Challenge 2022 to Wake Body Bliss. Your yoga challenge for this year is to activate your chakra power. And this 7-day Oneness Yoga Challenge is created from ancient Himalayan yogic traditions and our own mystic revelations. This year's Yoga Challenge is a mystic movement of the body. As you stretch and stay, as you tense and relax, chant and focus, breathe and hold. Each day of the challenge, you will manifest energies of stability, delight, courage, love, flow, awareness, and oneness. Graceful postures, chanting the mantras, visualizing the yantras, and transforming the rhythms of your breath as you dance through the yogic movements. You wake up to your body bliss. Life will feel like a celebration. It'll feel youthful and vibrant. I ask you to take up the challenge and join the yogis and yoginis from every nation of the world who will be part of this Oneness Yoga Challenge. Rise to the challenge. The 7th day of the Oneness Yoga Challenge will culminate on the 21st of June, the International Day of Yoga. On this final day, yoga enthusiasts all over the world will form into Oneness Yoga mobs and experience the collective rush of energy, collective surge of oneness through yoga. Be part of Oneness Yoga mobs. Create Oneness Yoga mobs.
In a few moments from now, we will move into the Limitless Field meditation with Sri Preethaji. We request you to kindly put your mobile phones on silence now. Kindly do so immediately. And we request in total silence. Only by being in Mauna can you tune into the limitless field and receive the profound blessings it can give you. Please sit erect, either on a chair or on the floor. Please do not move around. Become still. Rest your hands upon your thighs with palms facing upwards. Let the tips of your index fingers touch the tips of your thumbs. Breathe slowly and deeply into your chest. Allow yourself to become calm. Gently close your eyes. Receive blessings from Sri Preethaji for your inner conflicts to be dissolved and for you to move into harmony and peace within yourself. Join your palms at your heart in prayer. Let us now immerse in the Ekam Mantra, Hamsa Soham Ekam. As you chant, feel that you and the divine are deeply connected. The divine is in your heart, and you are in the heart of the divine. Gently relax your hands. Hold your attention upon your eyebrow center. Feel the immense energies from the limitless field enter your eyebrow center and flood your body. Shri Preethaji will now lead you into a state of profound harmony and peace with yourself, with your family members, and people who are a part of your work life. slowly open your eyes. Thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of this sacred and powerful Limitless Field meditation with Sri Preethaji. Kindly make a note. Manifest with Sri Preethaji for the month of May will happen on the 8th of May. You will enter a mystic journey with Sri Preethaji. Manifest flow, manifest purification of 3 dimensions. For international participants from the East, your manifest would happen at 6:30 a.m. India time. For international participants from the West, your manifest would be at 9:30 p.m. India time. And for all Indian participants, your manifest journey would be at 5 p.m. India time on the 8th of May. Wishing all of you an abundance of blessings. Namaste.
शतमानं भवति शतयु पुरुषशतीन्द्रिय आयुष्याविन्द्रिय प्रतितिष्ठति 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 शतमानं भवति शतयु पुरुषशतीन्द्रिय Ayushavindriya Pratithishtati. Shatamalam bhavati Shatayu Purusha Shatindriya 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 Ayushavindriya Pratithishtati. 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 शतमानं भवति शतयु पुरुषशतीन्द्रिय आयुष्याविन्द्रिय प्रतितिष्ठति 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 शतमानं भवति शतयु पुरुषशतीन्द्रिय आयुष्याविन्द्रिय प्रतितिष्ठति
आरोग्यवान् भव सौभाग्यवान् भव यशस्वी भव आयुष्यवान् भव आरोग्यवान् भव
शतमानं भवति शतयु पुरुषशतीन्द्रिय आयुष्याविन्द्रिय प्रतितिष्ठति
आयुष्यवान् भव आरोग्यवान् भव
शतमानं भवति शतयु पुरुषशतीन्द्रिय आयुष्याविन्द्रिय प्रतितिष्ठति
आरोग्यवान् भव
शतमानं भवति शतयु पुरुषशतीन्द्रिय आयुष्याविन्द्रिय प्रतितिष्ठति
आयुष्यवान् भव आरोग्यवान् भव
शतमानं भवति शतयु पुरुषशतीन्द्रिय आयुष्याविन्द्रिय प्रतितिष्ठति
आयुष्यवान् भव आरोग्यवान्
भवति शतयु पुरुषशतीन्द्रिय आयुष्याविन्द्रिय प्रतितिष्ठति शतयु पुरुष शतीन्द्रिय आयुष्यविन्द्रिय प्रतिष्ठति शतमानं भवति शतयु पुरुष शतीन्द्रिय आयुष्यविन्द्रिय प्रतिष्ठति
give